So today we're going to do solving inequalities, which is exactly like solving an equation, which you guys did really great with. So I think you'll be fine for this too. The only difference is you won't have an equal sign, okay? So instead of an equation, inequality. So an inequality is a mathematical sentence that compares expressions. It compares them. And it's going to use one of these symbols that look like your little alligator mouths. So those are the four things that could be. Do you know how we say those?
Inequalities.
Less than, greater than?
Inequality. Inequality.
Good. Less than, equal to, greater than, equal to. So instead of making them equivalent, like with an equal sign, you're comparing them. You're saying one is bigger than the other or one is smaller than the other, etc. Now, I'm not going to read all of this to you, okay? But the ones I want to draw your attention to are the is at most and is at least. If your mom tells you, you can have at most 3 cookies. Listen, you can have at most 3 cookies. That means you can have 3 or less. It's a less than or equal to. If I say you need at least $20 to pay for something, that means you need 20 or more. So it's a greater than or equal to thing. So those are the two that you want to kind of look at, but all the rest of those mean those things as well. So a solution is a value that makes the inequality true. That should hopefully make sense. All right. An inequality can have infinite solutions. What I mean by that is, say it was x is greater than 5. Can you give me an example of a number that's greater than 5? 6, but also 7, 8, 9, like forever and ever, 128. So there's an infinite number of answers. And those are all called the solution set. Solution set is the set of all the possible answers, which there's an infinite number of them. So what we're going to do for this part A, B, and C here, we're not actually working it out. We're just going to test. Is -6 a solution? You're going to plug in -6 and see if it's true or false. Are you with me here? Okay. So if you plug in -6 right here, do you see where I'm pointing for this x? Okay. You're going to have -6. I have to switch, that pencil's broken. -6 plus 5 greater than or equal to -2. I just took -6 and plugged it in for the x. Just write that down. Now, what is -6 plus 5? All right, -1 greater than or equal to -2. And all you are doing is that true or is that false? That's it. And it's tricky because they're both negative. So what do you think? That's true. -1 is less negative than -2. So we're going to say yes, that is a solution. Is -7 a solution? Well, let's plug in -7 for x. You would get -7 plus 5 greater than or equal to -2. We're using the same inequality. We're just plugging in -7 this time. So what is -7 plus 5? Yeah. -2 greater than or equal to -2. And all you're doing is that true or is that false? Why is it true? Because of the equal to. If the equal to wasn't there, it wouldn't be. You can't say, for example, 5 is bigger than 5. That's like saying you're taller than yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the equal to has to be there. And then we're going to do -8. So plug in -8. You'll have -8 plus 5 greater than or equal to -2. And so that's going to give you -3 greater than or equal to -2. And is that true or is that false? It's false. -3 is more negative than -2. So that's going to be a no, not a solution. So that's like, you're not actually working out a problem. You're just saying yes or no. Is that number part of the answer? Now we're also going to graph these. So the graph shows the solutions on a number line. An open circle is used for one of these. there's not an equal to. So you're not including that number. That is not a part of the solution. So we put like a hole there. It's an open circle. A closed circle is used for these with the equal to, because that value is part of the answer and we are including it. You've seen the open and closed circle things before, right? Like, okay, whether you're leaving it out, that would be a hole, an open circle, or whether you want to include it. And here is the only difference between solving an inequality and solving an equation. This is the only difference. When you multiply or divide by a negative, you need to flip the symbol. And what I mean by that is if it said greater than, you would change it to less than. Good. If it said less than, you would change it to greater than. You just flip it around. It's really easy to do. It's also really easy to forget to do. So you have to be careful. It's when you multiply or divide by a negative. Now, read directions. Can you look at this with me? It says solve, so we're going to work it out. It says graph, that means we're going to do a number line. And then it says list 2 possible solutions. So there's 3 parts to this, okay? Do you see the -3? What would you do to undo that? +3, you're going to do +3 to both sides. The exact same as solving an equation. So that's going to give you x greater than, all right, -2 + 3, 1. All right, we solved it. That's like our first part of the answer. That was the solve part. We did that, x greater than 1. Now it says to graph it. I am not picky about my number lines at all. All I need is the number that we got, which in this case is 1. So if you could put 1 on there, that'd be great. I need the open or closed circle, so you have to make a decision. Does this one get open or closed? Open, and then shade it in the correct direction. This says x is what? Greater than 1. So we want to shade everything bigger than 1. So 1 and everything bigger. That's your number line. So all I need is the number, an open or closed circle, and then shade it in. And then it says list 2 possible solutions. Well, there's an infinite number of possible answers, but could you give me a number bigger than 1? I heard 2 and I heard 36. Okay. But 1.5 or 5. How about 1? Would 1 work? No, because it's an open circle. We're not including it. Let's try another one. We're just going to practice this a bunch. I need for you to focus. How many questions are there on your 8? You can survive 8 questions with me. You got to have at least that much stamina. Okay. 1/8 of a number. So you're going to write 1/8 x, 1/8 of a number. All right, 1/8 of a number. It says decreased by 5. So what are we going to write next? -5. Good. Now, this is where it's tricky. Is at most 30. So if something is at most 30, it would be 30 or, and there will be an equal to or less. Okay, so less than or equal to 30. That's like if you can have at most 30 of something, you can have 30 or less. Okay, now we're going to solve that. What would you do to both sides? Plus side. It's exactly like solving an equation. Exactly like you did on your quiz, which you guys all did really well on. The only difference is you don't have an equals, you have a less than or equals. All right, so that's 1/8 x less than or equal to 35. You can, I was going to go about it a little bit of an easier way. What does this bar mean? Division. So we want to multiply. So you're going to multiply both sides by 8. If there was a 1/3, you would multiply by 3. Okay, just multiply by whatever's there. So you get x less than or equal to, I think that's going to be 280. I just did it real quick in my head. Let me type it in the calculator real quick. 280. Good job. All right, so that was the actual solving. Now we're going to make a number line. The only number I need you to put on it is 280. I'm not picky. Just put that number, open or closed circle. Closed. Good. Why close? Equal to, and we're going to shade which way? Left. Good. And then I want you to give me two numbers that would be part of the answer. And there's an infinite number of correct answers. 200 and what? I'll give you that one. All right, what else? 8 is not, or no. Oh yeah, 8 would be, I'm sorry, my brain did something weird. 4, 0. I wrote 8. Good job. Is smaller than 280. All right, this one has parentheses. What are we going to need to do?
What was that? How did you? Which series?
Off topic. When there's parentheses, what do you need to do? Multiply, but I'm looking for a different word. Distribute. Okay, so you're going to distribute the -2. That will give you -6w. Careful here. Plus 2. Why is it plus 2?
Multiply 2 negatives. Multiply.
Perfect. Multiply 2 negatives. Then plus w less than or equal to -8. When you get something that's really long, you need to do what? Combine like terms. What is going to go together? -6w plus 1w.
What?
-6w plus 1w. That would give you what? -5w. Plus 2 less than or equal to -8. Then what? -2. I want to kind of speed this. This part should be like going a little bit quicker. I want to kind of speed this part up for you. So that'll be -5w less than or equal to. All right, -8 and -2 would make -10. Good. And then your last step, divide by -5. When you divide by a negative, you have to flip the symbol around. Again, it's really easy to do. It's also really easy to forget to do. So just be really careful. And then -10 divided by -5 is 2. No, we only flipped it once. Just when we divided by the negative. That's the only time we flip the symbol around. All right, so draw your number line, put 2 on it, open or closed circle. It'll be closed. So closed circle, and we're going to shade what direction? To the right. And then I want you to give me 2 numbers that would be part of the answer. How about 2?
And 2.
2 would be. So 2, 3, 4, anything bigger. Okay. I'm going to skip this one because I want to finish before our drill happens here. So I'm going to do these ones that have the words in them. 3 times. Okay, so we're going to have a 3. It says the difference. So what does difference mean? Subtract. And perfect. You need parentheses. Means subtraction, but you're also going to need parentheses. It says difference of a number and 6. So you're going to have x minus 6 is no more than. No more than. So what would that mean? You will need the equal to. That's correct. But do you want to be less good? Less than or equal to? Careful. -21. Good. Hey, can you write this down? We're doing notes. This is the learning part of today. Okay. Then we're going to work that out. What do you need to do with this 3? Distribute. Again, not being hateful. Just want you to get a good grade. So 3x minus 18. 3 times 6 is 18. Less than or equal to -21. Are there any like terms to combine? No. All right. So what next? Yeah. Plus 18. So 3x less than or equal to, good, -3. Good job. Are you already ahead of me?
No.
That's good, but just make sure you have it written down. All right, last step would be divided by 3. Do we need to flip the symbol, yes or no?
No.
No, we divided by a +3. The fact that this is negative is fine. It's what you're dividing by. So we do not need to flip it. -3 divided by 3 -1. You're gonna be okay. So draw your number line. You need -1 on there. Open or closed circle? Closed. And we're gonna shade which way? Left, good. -3 would be a possible answer. And -1, good. -18, -300 million. -3, 000, 000 would be -3 million. All right, the students in charge of the class booth at a carnival would like to earn $3 for every item they sell. They spent $55 for their materials. So that's like how much they had to spend to buy everything to make the items. They want a profit of at least $65. How many items do they need to sell? Well, they want to earn $3 per item. So it would be 3x, good, $3 per item. Now, they had to spend $55 on materials. So good, nice job. -55, that's like what they're out for spending the materials. Now they want at least 65. So that means they want 65 or more. So greater than or equal to 65. So how many items do they need to sell? It doesn't say what they're selling though, just items. All right, and then what do you do to both sides? Now we just need to solve it. I'm sorry, let me answer this question. Wouldn't it be what? No, we want to be bigger than 65. They want 65 or more dollars. Good, guys, add 55. So that's going to give you 3x greater than or equal to 120. 120. Divide by 3 and x is greater than or equal to 40 items. Sorry, I'm writing with pen because my pencil broke, so can't scratch that out. So 40 items. So here's 40. Closed or open circle? Closed, and we're going to shade which way? The right. So possible answers. 40, 41, 47, 52, anything bigger than that. Can you give me an example of a number that's not part of the answer?
39.
Yeah, 39. 3, 0, 1. Okay, good. 2 more. We've got this. Now this one has x's on both sides. Can you close that for me? Yeah, just close that. So what would you need to do to both sides to get them together? Minus which one? Yeah, minus 3x, minus 3x. You have to get all the x's together. Now, -5x and -3x will be -8x minus 2 greater than or equal to 14. And those of you that were absent and missed the quiz, this is pretty much more quiz review. The only difference between this and what your quiz was on is there was an equal sign. So you didn't have a number line or anything, but it's all the same kinds of steps. All right, then what would you do to both sides? Plus 2. -8x is greater than or equal to 16. Divide -8. Oh, what does that mean? You have to flip the symbol because you divided by a negative. And then 16 divided by -8 is -2. So -2, closed or open circle? Yeah, a lot of these were closed. If you don't have the equal to, it would be open. And then which way are we going to shade? Left. So examples of numbers that are part of the answer. -2 would be? Yeah, -3, -7, -17, anything further down that way. All right, you earn $9.50 an hour at your job. So it's going to be 950x. Okay. you need at least $215 for your shopping. So that means you need 215 or more. So greater than or equal to 215. What would you do to both sides? Yeah, divide by 950. So X is greater than or equal to, do not say anything to Siri. I will type this in the calculator.
Okay.
Thank you. It says 22.6. So greater than 22.6, what? Good, hours. You need to work more than 22.6 hours to earn enough money. So here's your 22.6, closed circle. You're going to shade which way? To the right. And what are some examples of numbers that would make it true? 22.7. Okay, so how about 23? 22.7. Okay, yeah, you guys are being smart. I'll put that 22.67. Yeah, anything above that would be hours you can work. I did skip this one for time reasons. I'm going to fill it in though, so when I take the picture and put it on Schoology, it'll be there.